call the better business model, or what businesses don't necessarily look at doing it first. Because when you start a business, you say, I really know how to do this well and I can do it better than most people. I'm going to charge people for me to do it. Or really, if you have a skill and you work to capture your experience instead of selling your experience, you can actually build that into a membership program and charge access to that. So everyone on this call has something unique from an expertise standpoint that they can capture, and it's never been easier from a technology standpoint to do this. And we're going to look at some of the tools to do that, but there's never been a time in history where you could build these types of systems with as little investment. And super excited to show you guys how this all works. So one of the most cost-effective ways to do this, like we've talked about, is with a membership program. But let's go ahead and see how you can capture this knowledge and the value and market that instead of marketing your time. Here's a little mind map of a typical small business. All right, so you have your main products and services up here in the orange. So you have your product 1 or service 1, 2, and 3, right? And you may market those. You obviously do. You may use it with a sales team. You may be your sales team. Maybe with a website that you've built or someone else has built. Maybe through advertising, if you're advertising on the radio, through Google Ads, social media, all kinds of advertising methods to sell these products or services. It's pretty expensive to sell. You know, it's very expensive to get those customers. Those current customers you have are worth their weight in gold. So if you have, say, a customer base already, then this system is going to work especially well for you because you already have some customers to start with. So this is a very traditional business model. And now we're going to look at a continuity program that you can actually just build into your business right now. It doesn't take more than just the setup and integration of this to get it going. If you already have customers, great. And if you don't, we'll look at some other ways to actually market this continuity program. And when I say continuity, that's that monthly income or the membership site that we're talking about here. And there's all types of different continuity systems. I have a slide on here of 10 different types, but here's a few just off the top here of, you can offer video training, you can offer special discounts or a reduced rate for your services. You can offer VIP coaching, so you could do webinars like this and record them and offer them to your members. And you can also offer community. This is a very popular one right now where people are basically just offering a community system of their peers and charging for a monthly membership for that.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, that's I've never really thought about it until I'm seeing your little map here. But I like that little community thing because one thing that I have found out is that people just like to belong to something,
Sure.
and it goes back to when we were like kids. We had in my backyard we had a little boys club, so to speak, and then you have Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and then we get all these clubs in high school, and then you got the Moose Club and the Rotary Club and the Chamber of Commerce, and and all these clubs. It's just this inherent thing in us that we like to belong to something, and people just like to hang out with other people that have something common in interest to share ideas. It's just I find, I hate to say it's an easy sell. That's not what I mean, but it's the conversation that's already in people's mind that they're looking to join something, even if they don't outwardly think so. We're just wired to want to belong to something, and so that's a very interesting observation you made there.
Yeah, it's so powerful because if you can be the connector, I know Lewis Howes talks about this a lot when he does presentations and talks. If you can be the one that connected two individuals, you become that third peg that both of them look to you as the center of that relationship. They didn't say, hey, so-and-so connected us. They must really know their stuff because we have a great relationship.
Yeah.
People, the reason you can charge for these is because it gives some good exclusivity to it as well. There's a lot of free forums out there, but I'll tell you what, if I can pay to cut out a lot of the junk, I'll do that.
Yeah.
and that's a great value.
You make a good point there because like the free forums are kind of like a free for all, whereas a membership site, I like to belong to because I belong to a ton of membership sites and I like them too because I kind of feel like it's a gated community and
Mhm.
the people that's in there, I know it's kind of policed and monitored. And if you got a jerk in there, they're kicked out. And
Right.
so yeah, I'm not a big fan of the free forums. I like to have when people have skin in the game. I know we've already weeded out the whatever you want to call them. The
Sure.
people the
The
people that
troublemakers.
or the people that aren't really the movers and the shakers. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, we can go down here a little bit more. And there's limit. You're only limited by your imagination, I guess. Here is what I'm trying to show is you can offer, yearly, monthly, weekly, even daily services. One of my favorite memberships that I'm part of is a daily affirmation email. And I,
Mm.
I pay for it because it's very in depth, and they shoot it to me every day. So hopefully on this presentation, guys, you're getting some good ideas, getting in the back of your mind. We're going to look at some examples here of some different membership programs too down the.
And by the way, and this was a biggie for me too. Like as we look at today's class here, I mean, like I was honored to have Sean come on, but Sean's the one that put the presentation. He's the one that's he's the I mean, well, I certainly know about this area too, but Sean is he put the presentation together. He did all the mind mappings. I'm just interviewing him. So you as the community leader, I mean, you're like Oprah. You don't have to know how to make the cake, so to speak. You can have guests, which know a lot about the topics that come on, and they're the ones. I mean, Sean. I mean, just being transparent here, you're the one that put the sweat and blood about putting this presentation together. So it's
Yeah,
kind of nice that you, as you're doing these membership sites, you don't have to be the person to put together all the content. Just hook up with smart people like I've done, like Sean, and they'll help you with the content.
and that's a killer point. What's fun about what we're going to get into here, I keep foreshadowing, I guess, but what's great if you strategize right, you don't have to do as much work as say a lot of other people have done to build out their continuity systems. You can just
Yeah,
be the DJ or the
yeah,
Oprah and make it happen. So
yeah.
we're going to look at some maps of how to do that as well. So here's a little bit about what these membership programs are. We've looked at a good map of it, but it's basically content that isn't available to the public. So you've given it some exclusivity, made it members only. It's a more personalized solution than say if, because I'll use an example. If you wanted to learn how to make a WordPress site, you could go on YouTube, find all these different videos, stitch them together, and probably learn it, right? But if you make an investment and purchase a membership to a site that teaches you how to do it, you're also, one, you're setting yourself up for success by putting skin in the game, and two, you already have it's mapped out for you, so you don't have to go and find a whole bunch of different resources. Someone's done the hard work of lining it all up for you. So that's where you can provide great value. Is you're doing a lot of the upfront work for the people who are buying the membership program, and people are wanting to pay for that. Let's dive in a little bit about what you can provide, and we've touched on this, but we can offer video training, group coaching signups with archives, guru recordings with interviews. That's a very, very great resource, and it's really easy to do because people love to get on and teach and talk to your audience. And then there's always what's called PLR content, or private label rights content, that you can purchase rights to and offer within your membership site. And then there's downloadable resources you can make. Something I really like to make is spreadsheets, that calculate things, and that's something you can offer in the downloadable resource area. And as we've talked about, group forums and newsletters are always a good thing too. Those are popular. Those have been around for 50 years, but you can do it today. Even integrated with a membership site where they're a member, and then they just sign up for an AWeber, monthly email, and they're paying you for that. So those are some things you can offer. You can also offer like VIP customer support. So maybe in your members area is just your top 10 customers. They're paying you X amount per month, and you're giving them the VIP support that they want to pay for. So here's another quick example. We're going to go through these kind of quick because I want to get more and more of this content in here. But for a real estate business, for example, there's two types of systems you could offer. You could offer a system for customers. You could also offer a system for your peers. So if you're a real estate agent in, say, Kentucky, and you're selling homes in Kentucky, why not put together a membership program that someone in Florida can access if it's a upstart real estate agent and they want to learn, training for new realtors? You've been in it for 20 years. Why not help train them and charge for that? I know for me personally, if I can cut out a lot of the front end work of researching and development, if I can just purchase a system and get going with it, I'm a happy camper. And everyone on this call has probably experienced that, where you've tried to go to Barnes and Noble and buy a whole bunch of books and stuff, and then you come across something like a Rosetta Stone out there that just teaches you how to do it. You're happy when you make that investment, right? So here's an example of a real estate agent. You can offer, training for all these different types of systems for competitors technically, but they're not even really competitors, especially if they're not in your region. And then you have programs for customers. So this is the other side of the coin, where you can offer, a homeowners club where members get discounts on certain things, or things for their homes. They may get discounts for lawn care providers. You can see in the green here, we got it branched out, all these different things you could offer if they're a part of your VIP club, and there's a lot of different options, and this is just kind of a brainstorm here. You can have a referrals club where members get exclusive deals around town, include cash for referrals promotions, all kinds of fun stuff. And also this home staging guide, I've seen this a lot. And a lot of people offer it for free, which is also not a bad way to start. You could offer this membership program for free in exchange for their name and email, and that helps you build your email list, which I think Carl would agree is probably one of the most valuable assets within your business too. So the key point here, if you guys can take this away, if you already have a product, the biggest hole in your revenue is the fact that you're not selling another product with it. So if you sell a widget and you're not selling training for that widget, then you are losing your upsell. And what upsell really means is basically, if they're in the mood to buy your widget, they're more than likely going to want to spend the investment to learn how to use it right. And you should offer that service. And if you're not, you're losing out on a potential revenue stream. And then downsell is more along the lines of, okay, they said they don't want this, they don't want that, they don't want to buy your widget. All right, well, why not get into our membership program? It's a little less expensive, and that can help you in a sale. If you are offering a product or service that may be more expensive, they can buy, say, a $39 a month program that's less expensive. So that's a key point to keep in the back of your mind. You're leaving money on the table if you're not offering these types of systems. So this is another quick example, and just for time, we're not going to be able to dive into this, but this, as a web designer, and we could just exchange web designer for, say, a social media manager or a graphic designer. Really, if your time is your service, you can really benefit from offering these types of systems for both clients and other designers or competitors. It's interesting, if you become the thought leader in your industry and you're not offering a monthly program to teach other people in your industry who want to compete with you, you're leaving money on the table. and that's an interesting, people are scared to offer their knowledge to their competitors. But here's the thing, they're still paying you for it. And it's really a mindset thing. If you can get past the idea that, well, maybe they might use some of your strategies, but you don't have to give away all of your strategies, then that's something to keep in mind too. You can actually sell these to your competitors.